Hello, I'm Sigal from Priority Software. In this video, I will demonstrate how to perform account and bank reconciliation in the split work areas. Let's start with account reconciliation. To prepare the work area for relevant accounts, I will run the account reconciliation prep program, which you can find by going to Financials, General Ledger, Reconciliations, Account Reconciliations. First, I will choose the account type to reconcile. I will choose the Accounts Receivable Ledger. Next, I will pick the relevant account to reconcile. You can choose more than one account by selecting the checkboxes. Third, we can choose whether we want the system to color recommendations when reconciling manually on both sides of the work area. You can choose to display strong recommendations, and then the system will color lines that match by both reference and amount, or choose to display all the types of recommendations, and then the system will also recommend lines that match by amount only. I will currently choose to display all the types of recommendations. In addition, you can define how partial reconciliation will be sorted in the work area. I will choose that partial reconciliation appear above unreconciled entries, so I will remember to take care of them. When the program ends, I will click on the link in the system's message that will take me to the work area. We can see the name of the account at the top left side of the work area. In addition, if we chose more than one account in the prep program, we can switch between them by clicking on the arrow buttons. The split work area makes it easy to identify what it is you're reconciling. Debit transaction will appear on the form's left side below the debit headline, and credit transaction will appear on the form's right side below the credit headline. As you can see, 4 columns appear on each side of the screen. With the help of the Form Design tool, you can add more fields relevant to your workflow. For example, I will click on the Setting button and the Organize Form option. Then I will choose to add the Reference 1 and the Journal Entry Number fields. I click on the Save button and re-enter the form as the system instructs. With the Keyboard Arrows button, I can easily move through the columns. At this point, I restore the default to suit my business process. Let's start with reconciling entries manually by matching lines. On the debit side, I will select the invoice line I would like to match by marking the checkbox. As we can see, a reconciliation number was assigned automatically by the system. Notice that the system is recommending one potential receipt line on the opposite side by coloring it in blue and placing it at the top of the list. We can check out the variance to see whether there is a discrepancy between selected lines. I will select the line that the system recommends. As we can see, there is no variance. Now I will click on the Reconcile button. As a result, reconcile lines are color gray in the work area. At this point, the reconciliation is locked but not final, so I can still edit it. We can edit the pending reconciliation by clicking on the pencil icon next to the reconciliation number on the selected line. All the lines with the same number will become available for editing. To relock, click on the Reconcile button again. To finalize all the pending reconciliations in the work area, click on the Finalize Reconciliations button, and all the pending lines will become final reconciliations and will be removed from the work area. It's worth mentioning that if you wish that clicking on the Reconcile button will be lock and finalize the selected entries and clear them from the work area in one step, you can define that in a financial constant. You can streamline your work with the system recommendations for automatic reconciliations. I will click on the Reconcile Automatically button and choose the reconciliation method from the Reconciliation Methods form. You can define custom methods or use the system's default. When the program ends, you can see the lines reconciled according to the system recommendations colored in gray. I can choose to edit the reconciled lines or finalize them. Sometimes it's necessary to perform a partial reconciliation, which can be done easily in the split form. For example, there is an invoice of $700 for which a partial payment of $300 was received. So I want to partially reconcile the receipt with the invoice while waiting for the payment balance. In that case, I will check the invoice line and then the receipt line. We can see that there is a variance of $400. And then I will click on the Reconcile Partially button. As a result, reconciled lines are numbered the same, and the numbers are partially colored green, which indicate the partial reconciliation. Notice that partially reconciled lines appear at the very top of the form, as I have chosen in the prep program. For now, this reconciliation will remain in the form, and when the balance is paid, I can easily add the receipt line to the form without re-preparing by clicking on the Refresh button. I will show how this can be done. I have prepared in advance a draft receipt for the variance from the partial reconciliation. I will move to the Receipts form and retrieve the relevant document. I will finalize the receipt by clicking the Finalize Receipt button, and when the program ends, I will go back to the Split work area. To add the receipt line to the work area, I will click on the Refresh button and confirm the message. We can see that the receipt document line has been successfully added to the form. To reactivate the partial reconciliation, I will click on the pencil icon next to the reconciliation number on the selected line. You can see that the reconciliation lines have reopened for editing. I will select the additional receipt line so that the system will number it with the same reconciliation number. Then I will click on the Reconcile button. In order to finalize all the pending reconciliation in the split work area, I will click on the Finalize Reconciliation button and confirm the message. Let's move on to demonstrate bank reconciliations in the split work area. The bank reconciliation split work area looks the same as the account reconciliation form and works the same way too. The difference is the nature of the reconciliation. Here, the reconciliation will be made in the bank account, when on the left-hand side of the form you will find the ledger representing in the bank account, and on the right-hand side of the form there will be bank statement lines. Before loading the work area, I recorded a bank statement. For more information on recording bank statements, please see the standard operating procedure on bank reconciliation split work area. To load the work area, I will run the bank reconciliation prep program, which I have put in my homepage in advance. First, I will choose the bank account and fill in the to date field with the relevant due date for statement items. Second, I will select the relevant transaction code which I would like to reconcile. For now, I will select all of them. Third, in the Color Reconciliation Advice option, I will ask the system to display strong recommendations only by reference and amount. When the program ends, I will click on the link in the system's message and that will take me to the form. As we saw before, we can perform manual and automatic reconciliation in the same way as the account split work area. For example, on the left-hand side of the form, I will select the vendor's payment check of $2,000. On the right-hand side of the form, I can see that the system is recommending the line with the matching reference and amount by coloring it in blue and placing it at the top of the list. I will select the line that the system recommends, and then I will click on the Reconcile button. Now I will demonstrate how to perform a one-sided reconciliation of bank statement lines with no corresponding journal entries. Suppose there are multiple bank fees in the statement and I want to create journal entries for all of them at once. So I will select the relevant lines, while the system numbers them each with the same reconciliation number. Notice that, since there is a variance, I will need to define additional settings. First, I will need to specify whether to create a separate journal entries for each selected line or one entry for all the selected lines. I will choose the one per line option. Second, in the Adjustment Entry Definitions form, I can record details for the journal entries. For instance, I can define the transaction date, due date, reference number, details, and another parameters in the form. Notice that when I choose the one per line options, fields that I define in the Adjustment Entry Definitions form will be recorded in the journal entry, while fields that I leave blank will be taken from the statement item. The above is true for dates, references, and all the other fields in the form. A new experience for the Adjustment Entry Definitions introduced in version 22.0 allows me to use automations to define autofill rules and to use the form design option here. The bank account and fill in the details field with the word commissions. I will leave all the other fields blank and click OK. Now that I have finished reconciling all the relevant rows in the work area, I will click on the Finalize Reconciliation button to finalize all the pending reconciliation in the form. Let's have a look at the journal entries that were created for the one-sided reconciliation which we perform. I will move to the Itemized Statement form below the Record Bank Statement form and move to one of the fee lines. Now I will produce the Reconciliation Details report from the relevant statement line. We can see that the due date, the transaction date, and the reference number were recorded using the values from the original statement line, while the details were recorded from what I specified in the input form. So that's all for today on our demonstration for the account and bank reconciliation experience in Priority using the split work areas. For more details and information, please refer to the standard operating procedure on the Priority Expert website. See you in the next video and thank you for watching.